Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabho Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So today we are starting with the new book. It is the Ishopanishad. It is one of the Upanishad among the 108 famous Upanishads. Hope everyone has this book with you. So it's a very small book with 18 shlokas. श्री श्री राधा गोविंद की जय, श्री श्री गौर निताई की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. This book will be covered in 6 lessons. The first lesson, that is today's lesson, will be covering the introduction, the first 10 pages of this book. And then in the lesson 2, invocation will be learned. And then we'll start with the shloka. First 3 will be lesson 3, then 4 to 8, lesson 4, 9 to 14, lesson 5, and 15 to 18 is lesson 6. So there are 6 sessions for 18 mantras. Today is the first one, first lesson, that is introduction. Now, what is Upanishad? It is a part of Veda. And what is Veda? Veda means knowledge. Now, what is the difference between Veda and the other knowledge which is available in this material world? There is a big difference. It is the acquiring system, how you are acquiring this knowledge. The Vedas are called avarohana. That means it is a descending process. And the modern education, it is a aroha pantha. That means it is a inductive or ascending process. Why it is called as Aroha, the modern science is called as Arohami, is because the ascending or inductive is referring to climbing, or you are moving from bottom to top. You know little bit, and using that, you try to understand more and more and more, and then you will get the better understanding or knowledge. That is Aroha Pantha. And Avaroha Pantha means it is a descending or deductive knowledge, where the knowledge is given by the higher authority, and we will just accept it and then practice. There is no experimentation in the beginning stage. The experimentation will be proved. That means you don't do experiment on your own, but when you put it into practice, then you will get the realization. That itself is the result of your experiment. So the Aroha Pantha, it is based on the experimentation using our own senses, our own understanding, our own capability. We do the understanding, just like you look into the sky using the telescope and try to understand the movement of the planets and identify what are the different planets, how they are moving, how much time it takes to rotate, and is it the Earth is rotating around the sun, or our sun is rotating around the Earth. You try to understand yourself, and then you come up with some theory and some laws. So that is Aroha Pantha. But in Avaroha Pantha, the Lord himself is giving the knowledge. Tene Brahma Hridaya Adi Kavaye Muhyanti Yatsurayaha. The Veda, it is a sound incarnation of the Lord, in which everything is explained and there is no experimentation is required. We put faith on it and we practice it and we realize that it is correct. This is not a blind faith, because the person who is giving the knowledge is perfect. And we can understand there is, when we practice it, whatever realization we get, it matches with whatever understanding we have. So when we get the realization, our understanding becomes more and more firm, so that we can understand whatever we learn is perfect. That is the deductive knowledge or descending knowledge. Now, somebody may argue that this can be a blind faith. How can you put your faith on someone just because they have told? Just because it is told in the Shastra, you are following it. How is that possible? Then, if you analyze in that way, even the Aroha Pantha, it is also, in one sense, it is descending. How is it descending? Because are we going to do the experimentation on every knowledge that we get in the schools? Are we going to check all the laws which is being presented in the school? No, we just hear that. We go to school, we read the textbook, we get the knowledge, and then we go and do the experimentation in the lab, that to very small extent. And then whatever that is given in the textbook, we write in the exam and we clear our exams. There we don't question, because our aim is to get the marks and somehow get the job and somehow make our life. So there also hearing is important. In the classroom also we are hearing. So in one sense, the modern education, it is a deductive process, but the source is not perfect. The knowledge which is given by the scientists, they have concluded it through the experimentation, through their own effort. So that is a big difference between modern education and the Vedic education. We can take the example of a cow dung. In the Shastra, it is told that cow dung is pure. And we accept it and use it for many purposes. Cow dung is one among the Panchagavya, the cow urine and cow dung. We mix it with the milk, curd, and the ghee, cow dung, cow urine. These 5 things make the Panchagavya, which is taken as a tirtha. It's a purification. The Lord is also bathed with these things. So in general, if we say it's a urine of animal or it's a stool of animal, how it can be purification? How can you get the purification from that? Because it is told in Vedas, it is acting. That means Vedas are perfect. It is beyond our understanding. Whatever told in the Vedas, it has to be accepted as it is. That's why it's called Veda Vakya. When we say Veda Vakya, it has to be followed or accepted without questioning. In common language also, we say somebody is asking you to do something without questioning. Then people say, why should I follow you? Is it some Veda Vakya or what? Like that we question. That means the Veda Vakya, it has to be accepted as it is, because it is a avaroha pantha or deductive knowledge or descending knowledge. Now, how to get the knowledge? Getting the knowledge, there are proofs. It's called as pramana. The knowledge is accepted by three means. It's called pratyaksha pramana, anumana pramana, and then shabda pramana. The pratyaksha means whatever we understand through our senses. Direct sense perception. I believe what I see, and I don't believe what I can't see. That is pratyaksha pramana. And anumana pramana is hypothesis. I am just making some analysis by seeing the results. And it might be like this, perhaps like that. I make some hypothesis and come to some conclusion. That is anumana pramana. And shabda pramana means the sound, the hearing from the authority. Here the authority is very, very important. One cannot hear from anyone, because the shabda pramana, it is completely dependent on the authority from where you are hearing. So the authority is very, very important. We should make sure that whatever knowledge we are getting, it is coming from the Lord himself in the proper guru disciple parampara. The parampara knowledge has to be accepted. Otherwise, it will create confusion. It will create a lot of problem. Now, which is the best? Is it the pratyaksha or anumana or shabda pramana? Which we have to accept, that we have to see. Now, pratyaksha pramana, what is our capacity to understand this material world, the phenomena which is happening here? It is not possible to understand everything by our own senses, because we have so many defects. Our senses are defective. It is not a complete, it is not able to give us complete knowledge. So this we'll see in the next coming slides. What are the defects in our senses, and what are the 4 defects of a living entity when he grasps some knowledge from this material world. So direct sense perception means what we can see, that only I'll accept. I don't accept anything else. Anumana means hypothesis. Just like if there is a smoke, I may think that there may be some fire. There may or may not be there. That is hypothesis. And shabda means hearing from the Lord himself. That is shabda pramana. This is like this. Here you can see, this is an example for pratyaksha pramana. So there was a blind man. He is trying to understand what is an elephant. This is a very common example. So he wants to experience the knowledge or experience the world and understand what it is. And he goes and touches the stomach of the elephant, and he thinks that it's a big wall. And he holds the feet of the elephant and he thinks that it's a big tree. And by holding the tail, that means there are many people who are gone for understanding. So when somebody who touched the belly, he thought it's like a wall, and someone who is holding the leg, he is thinking that it's like a tree, and one holding the tail, he thinks that it's like a snake or a rope, and somebody climbed over the elephant, and he's thought that it's like he held the ear, and he's telling that it's like a fan, and somebody is holding the tusk, he's telling it's like an arrow, elephant, and the trunk, he's holding a trunk and he's thinking it's like a snake. So what is correct? It's all pratyaksha pramana. He has realized by touching it by his own hand. But it is, none of them are perfect. They all are perfect in their own understanding, but none of them are completely perfect or absolutely perfect. So this is what happens when we get the knowledge through the this pratyaksha pramana. Then from where we should get the knowledge? That is from the parampara. Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayo viduhu sakalena mahata yoga nashta parantapa. So this supreme science was thus received through the chain of disciplic succession, 4.2 Bhagavad Gita. One has to accept the knowledge from the right authority. If the authority is correct, then the knowledge what we receive is also correct. A devotee in the ISKCON, he will receive the knowledge through the books of Srila Prabhupada, which is written based on the previous parampara acharyas, which is leading to the Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Narad Muni, then Brahmadev. Like that, it goes up to the up to Sri Krishna. The Veda is like a manual. When we purchase a mobile phone or any electronic items or anything, there will be a manual. And what is there in manual? It will explain about what is the constituent of this product and how it has to be used properly, so that you can make the best use of it. The Vedas are also like that. It will tell how this material world is made and how one should live in this material world, so that he will not get bound and he can easily escape from the material world. Those who would like to read, they can raise their hand. Deepti Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. The Shiksha Guru gives spiritual instruction and inspiration on behalf of Srila Prabhupada. Sorry, Prabhuji, I think.
Not visible?
No, it's visible, Prabhuji. I was also connected through another, through my mobile, so I just disconnected it. I was not aware of it. Sorry, Prabhuji. Yeah, the Shiksha Guru gives spiritual instruction and inspiration on behalf of Srila Prabhupada and our Guru Parampara. The Diksha Guru gives spiritual instruction, inspiration, formal initiation, a spiritual name, and later imparts the sacred Gayatri mantras to a qualified disciple as a service to Srila Prabhupada and our Guru Parampara. TBC statement on the position of Srila Prabhupada, March 2013. Srila Prabhupada ji. Thank you.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. So it is very important to see that we receive the knowledge from the proper parampara system, and it is a Shabda Pramana which we are accepting. How to choose the Guru? How we can understand who is the proper Guru? That is explained in the Upadeshamrita, which we will be studying later on. Shri Haripriya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Yes, ma'am.
Qualifications of a bona fide Guru. Therefore, the Vedic injunction is that one must approach, the word compulsory is used, a bona fide spiritual master, a Guru. And what is the qualification of a spiritual master? He is one who has rightly heard the Vedic message from the right source, and he must practically be firmly established in Brahman. These are the two qualities he must have. Sri Ishopanishad Introduction. Srila Prabhupada Ji ki jai.
Thank you. So this is very important point we must note down. There are two major qualities of a Guru. One is he has heard from the proper source, and the second one is he himself is practicing it, or he is established in the firmly established in the Brahman. That is the qualification of a Acharya. So one who gives an example by practicing whatever he is preaching. So that is the Acharya. So that person is a guru. From him, we should accept the knowledge. Then whatever knowledge we accept, it is a complete knowledge. Tad vijnanartam sa gurumevapi gachet. Samitpani strotriyam brahmanishtam. So one must go. It is not a question of optional. One must go. Eva abhi gachet. It's a compulsory statement that Lord Krishna is giving here. Now, how the ISKCON is working? We have Srila Prabhupada, and from him he has made the GBC, Governing Body Commission, and from there we have Sannyasa Ministry and Guru Services Ministry Committee, where they preach to the people. So Sannyasa Ministry is in communication with the sannyasis, and GBC, Governing Body Commission, has regional body for different regions, and Guru Service Committee also has gurus, different gurus, and they all are interconnected. And then we have temple president, Namahatta coordinators, and then again we have temple residents, disciples, and congregations or disciples. So here, the Srila Prabhupada's teachings, whatever is there, it is distributed in this way. So whatever doubts we have, whatever questions we have, we can ask in this body, in this structure like this, and we can get benefited through the Shabda Pramana. So this is the arrangement that is made in our ISKCON system. Radha Vallavi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam to all devotees. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself wanted our cooperation. He is God, Krishna, and therefore cooperation is very important thing. Nobody should think that I have got so great ability, I can do. No, it is simply by cooperation we can do very big thing. United we stand, divided we fall. This is art. So be strong in pushing on Krishna consciousness, and Krishna will help. He is the strongest. Still, we must be combined together. Room conversation with Radha Damodar, Sankirtan Party, March 16, 1976, Mayapur. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
So one must be united and understand the teachings of Guru in the Parampara system, so that whatever knowledge we receive is perfect. Okay, so we have understood and got so many references why we should hear from the Shastra, and the words that is given in Shastra is correct. Now coming to the other two, that is Pratyaksha and Anumana. What is the problem? There are 4 defects the living entity has. One is every person commits mistake, and the person comes under illusion, and he has cheating propensity, and also he has imperfect senses. So these are the 4 defects of any living entity. What is commit mistake? Every man will do mistakes. Whenever we do so many activities, there will be definitely mistakes will happen. None of us are 100% perfect. So if our process of acquiring knowledge is based on our own effort, then there are mistakes while gaining this knowledge through the experimentation, and we may come to the wrong conclusion. Then the illusion. Illusion means what is actually there, I may think it something different because of our imperfect senses and the situation in which we are at present. Our the way we perceive the knowledge, it is not proper. Just like in a glass of water, if you put a pencil or pen, you can see that it is broken, but it has not broken, it has not bent, it is still straight. But because the solid object which is being transferred in 2 mediums, that is the air and water, when the medium changes, the vision, whatever we have, that gets deflected, so that we see that it has broken there. But it is not so. So that is one kind of illusion. And so many things that is happening in material nature, what we see is not exactly correct. There is something else is going on, but for me it looks differently. That is illusion. And after that, cheating propensity. When we try to understand something after doing so much of effort, if I don't understand at all, then I don't accept that I don't know. But still I say I know, I understood. And what you understood, I do some theory and I say this is the correct one. I got it. Why I do? Just to get some name. So that is cheating propensity. I don't know what is exactly happening there, but still I say that I have understood, whatever I tell it's correct. So this is cheating propensity. And also we have imperfect senses, that is karana patava. Brahma pramada vipralipsa karana patava. Arsha vijna vakya dosha nahi esab. That is told in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adilila 286. The Arsha vijna vakya, that is the scriptures which is given by the Lord himself, it doesn't have these 4 defects, but we have these 4 defects. Now, if we try to get some knowledge through the defective senses or defective way, then the conclusion what we get is also defective. It cannot be complete. Now, let us say some of the examples. So what this picture say, you can use the chat box to reply. What is there in this picture? Yeah, a young woman and an old lady. Anybody else? What is there in this picture? What you can, this is a very famous, most of you must be knowing.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Same Prabhuji.
So it is how you perceive. Say if this is the mouth of a old lady, then you can see a old lady. And if you see this as the eye of a young lady, then it is young lady. Okay, Rakshita Mataji is selling small boy. Is it so? Okay, maybe. Okay, thank you. Next, continue. So here you can see this is a square. But is it this line is straight or it is bent?
Bending.
Is there any bending or is it straight?
In one angle it looks straight and another angle it looks bent.
There are bends.
Bending? Okay. See, because of these circles around, it looks bent, but none of them are bent. They are straight lines. If you remove these circles, then it will look properly. Because of the background, it makes us to think that it has bent. Okay. Are these lines, these long lines, are they parallel or are they not parallel? That means, are they going to collide after some time?
Actually, parallel.
Yes, Prabhuji. Parallel.
They collide.
Illusion.
Illusion.
Will they meet after some time if you extend them?
No.
No, Prabhuji.
No.
The small ones are parallel, but the long ones does not seem to be parallel.
No, my question is long one itself.
Okay. They don't seem to be parallel the way they are crisscrossed.
Yeah, that is because of the smaller lines. The bigger line doesn't look parallel. So these are some of the obvious things which we can make out our senses are imperfect.
Perfect.
Do you think these circles are moving or rotating?
Yes, it looks like that.
Rotating.
But
Rotating.
can you identify which portion it has moved? You just concentrate on one single color and check whether it is moving.
It's not moving.
No, Prabhuji.
When you look at the single one, it doesn't move.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're actually not.
It's still not moving.
The eye is moving. The eye is moving.
Our eyes are
They are
moving.
not moving. Yes.
They
the
are not
eyes
moving. They are
They are not
still.
moving.
We are moving.
That-
We are imagining they are moving.
Yeah.
Or maybe the internal functioning of the eye is making it to move, Prabhuji. I mean, it's
Yes.
not moving.
Yes, yes. So
So-
that's how. See, if you whatever circle you find it is moving, you move your eyes to that circle and stare at that. Then you find that
Stop.
it is stopping.
Yeah.
Yes, stop.
So this is a crude example. You can get so many illusions like this in Google. You can find optical illusions. So with this kind of senses, our understanding will not be complete, and we do mistakes. Just like here, you can see what is the mistake here.
He's climbing even though it is not connected to the aeroplane door.
Yeah.
This
From
is
this side, it looks like there is something, because for his vision, it can only cover this much. After climbing this, he will understand that there is no aeroplane,
nothing.
and he has to come back down. So everyone is going this way, and he is going in this way. So that is the mistake. And there are some statements from the people. You can read. Sorry, Shri Priya Mataji. Hare.
This telephone has too many shortcomings to be seriously considered as a means of communication. The device is inherently of no value to us. Western Union Internal Memo, 1876. Heavier than air flying machines are impossible. Lord Kelvin, President Royal Society, 1895. Who the hell wants to hear actors talk? H.M. Warner, Warner Brothers, 1927.
Thank you, Madhu. So these are some of the statements which has gone wrong at this present moment. So telephone is not a good way of communication. Do we agree now?
Best way.
Yeah. So it has changed. So now whatever we say today, it will not be true tomorrow. That is the modern science. It will change because it is a Aroha Pantha. But Vedas, whatever it has told in millions of years back, now also it is fact. Heavier than the air, flying machines cannot fly because air is lighter than the aeroplane. But still aeroplane can fly in the air. But in 1895, it was just a dream. Then who wants to hear the actors talk? This is the time where there is only but mime show, that is the Charlie Chaplin's movies, where there is no talking, one can only act. So at that time, this statement was given. How can the actor talk? It is not possible. But now it has changed. Sarita Kapoor Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, everyone, Dhanvat Pranam to all. There is no reason anyone would want a computer in their home. Ken Olson, President of Digital Equipment Corporation, 1977. 640K ought to be enough for anybody. Bill Gates, 1981.
So these are some statements which has gone wrong. So why do we need a computer at home? No, so many people oppose
To attend the class.
Bhakti Shastri class.
Bhakti Shastri class.
Yeah, this is you are talking in 2023, but this is the statement in 1977. Many government organizations, they opposed when they said that we need computer. Oh, computer, you're putting all the files within the computer. Then if there is no power, what will you do? If you don't want any file, you just open the cupboard and take the file and use it. And you're putting everything within that box. And how do we remove it when we need it? So these are the questions that people were asking. But now we can't run anything without computer. So things will change. But
Bankers, Prabhuji, bankers went on strike to stop computerization, saying that
yes,
there will be no employment. So they started making a committee and all those things for.
yeah. And 640 kilobyte, that is not to be enough for anybody. Now the mobile phone which we use, that itself has a RAM of 3, 4 or 6 GB, 8 GB RAMs. It's coming. It is in GB. This is only 640 KB. That is enough for anybody.
Not even LP.
Now it looks so foolish, no?
Yes. So that's how, as the time passes, the knowledge we acquire through the Aroha Pantha, it is going to change. It is not permanent. It is not perfect. Now let us have a activity. List all the 4 defects what we studied just now, and give examples of 4 defects from your own lives or and other, including from the scriptures, the Prabhupada's books, whatever you have come across. Do you need time for this to discuss, or will you directly speak? If you must be having something in your mind, you can just, is it fine? Or should I make breakout room?
No breakout rooms.
No, Prabhuji, we can do this activity.
Yeah, directly we do. Let us do.
Yes.
I will lower the hands so that once again, freshly you can raise. Yeah. Those who want to talk, please raise your hand. Sureshwar Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Let me try to answer the first part of it, that is committing mistakes. I can take the example of last examination. I studied well, but then too, after writing that fill in the blanks, at the end, I found out, even though I studied, I did not remember it. And I committed a big mistake there. And it would have been avoided, but it happened. And that is one example I can tell you. And cheating propensity, so everyday life, we are having it. So let others speak. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Anybody else would like to say?
Illusion or pramada?
Yeah.
What we always think maybe an illusion. Whenever we are thinking one thing from our opinion, and when we are going there, it will be entirely opposite. Then only we can identify, oh, what I am thinking and what is the actual thing that is happening there.
Yeah.
That most of the time we sense it.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Shri Hari Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. For illusion, it is like when till the time I had not joined Gita 18 days, I was living in a very fool's paradise, thinking that I have achieved a lot in life. I have a lot of degrees and professionally doing well. I have a good personal life. I have kids. I have husband, all fulfilling aspects. I have all the riches, which is basically needed. But when I joined Gita 18 days and the revelation step by step that what I am missing onto and all those material things which I am thinking is my achievement and that is my goal in life. Like earlier when I was pursuing my MBA, what is your goal in life is to say to become highly successful career-wise, become a dignified and I like a very popular or identified kind of a professional and all that. And even in office, we were looking forward, I want growth, professional growth. Now it is totally, the world is different 180 degrees. Like I was looking this side, now I'm looking this side, that somehow I get mercy of Lord, Guru and Govind, and somehow at least I have embarked on the right journey now. So that was the biggest illusionary world which I was living into, and it has just blasted like this, and that a revelation which happened to me. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Anybody can be happy in this material world only under illusion. Because we wanted to lord over everyone, boss over everyone, we are here. So you want to become the king, you want to become the master, then you be under illusion. Because it is possible only in illusion. Thank you.
And Prabhuji, I would like to add one more point. Like it is my personal experience. I was, because of pre-COVID also, I was going through anxiety because in professional world, there are a lot of timelines and work pressure. And to be very honest, for the last 2.5 years, whatever I have been associated, slowly and steadily, my all medication, I was going through anxiety and then I had acidity and all that GERD and all. And touch wood, today I take no medicine, not even a single tablet in the whole day. It has happened. And my husband, my family, they're surprised. I tell them, even if you're taking a tablet, please pray to Lord and accept it as a prasadam. Do Shri Krishna Arpanamastu and Hari Om Tat Sat. All your tablets will also go. I am a live example of that. That how I got rid of for years. I have been taking 2-3 years. I had to take it, and now I am without any tablet for the whole day. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Radha Vallavi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I think the similar case, what Mataji just talked about, Sri Hari Priya Mataji, illusion, when I was studying earlier, I did my MPhil, then there was an issue with our state and we had to move out. And it was like, we were thinking if we will not get job, we will not, proceed materially, everything is dead end for you. But going into the professional college or professionally exceeding, that was the only goal. Even though you were doing all the sadhana and puja also at home, but you were still living in the illusion that was not the real thing. And now when I look back to say, I have wasted so much of my life. God had given a golden opportunity to leave everything and just think of him only. You had Krishna with you always, but that illusion got slowly cleared when the Guru Kripa has happened, when you have understood through Shastras what is the real thing for. So the imperfect sense is that way, because our senses were, I'll talk about myself, the senses were so imperfect because I was thinking material thing is topmost, that spirituality was karmakand. It was not real spirituality. It was not the real devotion, even though you were performing the puja and all, but that was to get the material gain, not the spiritual enhancement. And now you see through your imperfect senses how much of time one has wasted, and you went on committing mistakes because you were thinking that material thing as a topmost. So I think that was the biggest mistake which we realize now, how we cannot get the time back and how much of time has been wasted by just thinking about all material thing. But now with the help of Guru, with Shiksha's Guru like you, Namnishta Prabhu, and other devotees and other Shiksha Gurus which I have here, you think, yes, whatever has happened, it was a journey which was to bring your faith more staunch, become more firm in your faith now, and learn from the past mistakes, past illusions and imperfect senses, and just don't deviate. Just be into that one path. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Rakshita Mataji.
Yeah, so what I feel is, as long as we are in this material world, these 4 defects will continue to act, whether it is making mistakes, whether it is illusion, cheating, and all other things, imperfect senses. Because we see that even in our devotional activities, while chanting, we are not at Shuddhanam stage. We are still committing a lot of mistakes. And while doing deity worship, we commit a lot of mistakes. Even while reading and like taking classes also, after the class I go back and look at the PPTs or scriptures and check, okay, did I tell the right thing or did I tell the wrong thing? So many times I do it out of fear. I will double check. So these things are here to stay as long as we are in this material world. But the whole beauty of it is, after doing all these mistakes, Krishna is still accepting it. That is the whole beauty of it. He is not saying, no, you are not doing Shuddhanam, don't chant, stop chanting. No, he never says that. And whatever faulty activities we are doing, the deity worship or anything, he's still accepting it. This example I wanted to quote from Ramayana. Vibhishan went and wrote everywhere Rama, Rama, Rama in Lanka, and then told Ravan, Ra means Ravan and Ma is Mandodari. So we are actually writing you and your wife's name, not Ram's name. Then out of illusion, that he created an illusion for Ravan, and then Ravan was like, okay, yeah, if it's my name and my wife's name, you write everywhere. Don't leave any single wall. So this is how we even. So this is an example how we turn these defects as an instrument to serve the Lord. So he turned illusion to serve the Lord. So in the same way, I think our focus, when the goal is to serve or go to the lotus feet of the Lord, nothing matters. Whether it is a defect, whether it is perfection, everything is same. Everything is spiritualized. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Okay, let us hear what conclusion Srila Prabhupada gives here. With all these deficiencies, we cannot give perfect knowledge to anyone, nor are we ourselves perfect. Therefore, we accept the Vedas as they are. So whatever understanding we are getting, it will be perfect only if we accept it through the Shabda Pramana, not through the Pratyaksha or through the Anumana. They are not perfect. Only through the Shabda Pramana it is perfect. So understanding this, we will accept the knowledge from the Ishopanishad. So that is the one of the Upanishads in Vedas. So this will continue after the Kirtan. Rakshita Mataji will do the Kirtan. Mataji, you can start.
Share the screen, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji?
Can I share the screen?
Yeah, sure. I have to make a course now. Okay, just
Okay, Hare Krishna. So this is not like every other class Kirtan. I have chosen South Indian Vaishnava Kirtan today. So this is by Purandara Dasa. He is also known as father of classical music. So he is a Vaishnava, but he is a South Indian Vaishnava, just for a change. Yeah, so this is in Kannada. We will do the translation later. Am I audible? Is my voice clear?
Beautiful. Very
Perfectly.
yes.
Yeah. Okay. Dasana madi govinda. Dasana madi govinda. Swami Sasira Namada Venkataramana. Dasana madi govinda. ದುರ್ಬುದ್ಧಿಗಳನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಬಿಡಿಸೋ ದುರ್ಬುದ್ಧಿಗಳನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಬಿಡಿಸೋ ಕರುಣ ಕವಚವೆಲ್ಲ ಹರಣಕ್ಕೆ ಕೊಡಿಸೋ ದುರ್ಬುದ್ಧಿಗಳನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಬಿಡಿಸೋ ಕರುಣ ಕವಚವೆಲ್ಲ ಹರಣಕ್ಕೆ ತೊಡಿಸೋ ಚರಣ ಸೇವೆಯನಗೆ ಕೊಡಿಸೋ ಅಭಯ ಕರ ಪುಷ್ಪ ಎನ್ನಯ ಶಿರದಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿಸೋ ಚರಣ ಸೇವೆಯನಗೆ ಕೊಡಿಸೋ ಅಭಯ ಕರ ಪುಷ್ಪ ಎನ್ನಯ ಶಿರದಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿಸೋ ದಾಸನ ಮಾಡಿಕೊ ಎನ್ನ ದಾಸನ ಮಾಡಿಕೊ ಎನ್ನ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ದಾಸಿರ ನಾಮದ ವೆಂಕಟರಮಣ ದಾಸನ ಮಾಡಿಕೊ ಎನ್ನ ಮೊರೆ ಹೊಕ್ಕವರ ಕವ ಬಿರಿದು ಮರೆಯದೆ ರಕ್ಷಣೆ ಮಾಡೆಯ ತೊರೆದು ಮೊರೆ ಹೊಕ್ಕವರ ಕವ ಬಿರಿದು ಮರೆಯದೆ ರಕ್ಷಣೆ ಮಾಡೆಯ ತೊರೆದು ದೊರೆತ ರಾಶಿಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ತೊರೆದು ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಪುರಂದರ ವಿಠಲನ
ಕರುಣದಿ ತೊರೆದು ದುರಿತ ರಾಶಿಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ತೊರೆದು ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಪುರಂದರ ವಿಠಲನ ಕರುಣದಿ ತೊರೆದು ದಾಸನ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳ ದೃಢ ಭಕ್ತಿ ನಿನ್ನಲಿ ಬೇಡಿ ದೇವ ಅಡಿಗೆ ರಘುವೆನಯ್ಯ ನುಡಿನ ಪಾಡಿ ಅಡಿಗಣ್ಣಲಿ ಕೆನ್ನ ನೋಡಿ ಬಿಡದೆ ಕೊಡು ನಿನ್ನ ಧ್ಯಾನವ ಮನ ಶುಚಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಕಡೆಗಣ್ಣಲಿ ಕೆನ್ನ ನೋಡಿ ಬಿಡದೆ ಕೊಡು ನಿನ್ನ ಧ್ಯಾನವ ಮನ ಶುಚಿ ಮಾಡಿ ದಾಸನ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳ ದಾಸನ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಸಾಸಿರ ನಾಮದ ವೆಂಕಟರಮಣ ದಾಸನ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳ ಹರಿ ಕೃಷ್ಣ 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 ಹರೆ 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 ರಾಮ 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 ಹರೆ 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 ಕೃಷ್ಣ 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 ಹರೆ 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 ರಾಮ 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 ಹರೆ ಹರೆ. Okay, let's see the translation. Venkataramana with 1,000 names, accept me as your servant. Remove all evil minds from me, cover my life with armor of your sympathy. Give me a chance to serve at your feet. Grace me to wear your promise of protection on my head. Beg to have constant devotion in you, O God. I bow to your feet with chanting daily. Don't ignore or neglect me with your corner of the eyes. Grace me to have your contemplation in you with clear mind. You have a title that you protect all of them who praise to you. Protect me also without forgetting. O God, remove all the sins and guilt in me. Purandara Vithala, protect with your kindness. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Let us continue our discussion. So, Ishopanishad. What is Ishopanishad? Ishopanishad is a part of Veda. The Veda has 4 parts, that is Samhitas, Brahmanas, Aranyaka, and Upanishads. And these Upanishads, there are prominently 108 Upanishads, and Ishopanishad is one among them. So what is Veda? Vedas deal mostly with fruitive activities to gradually elevate the general public from the field of sense gratification to a position on the transcendental plane. Now, Veda means there are many ways we can understand what is Veda. So basically, Veda, the Rigveda, Yajurveda, Atharvana Veda, Samaveda, these are the 4 Vedas that is divided by Vyasadeva in the beginning of Kali Yuga, so that Kali Yuga people can easily understand the knowledge. What is there in Veda? We all are curious to know what is Veda, because we have not studied any Veda as a systematic study of Vedas. So what does this Veda deal with? It is a collection of all the knowledges. The Rigveda, it is the collection of all the mantras used in the chanting of yajna. Yajna means sacrifice. Yajurveda explains about how to perform the yajna, the different activities. And the Samaveda, it is the glorification of the Supreme Lord, as well as the different demigods and all the instruments that are used in proper meter. And Atharvana Veda, it also deals with it has certain things like the material requirements, like the Ayurveda, and different things are there in Atharvana Veda. So Veda doesn't only contain about knowledge about the Lord, it also talks about this material world. Whatever a person wants, he can get it through the Veda. Anything that you are aspiring, you can get it from the Veda. So when a person learns this Veda, in the beginning, what he will do as a person who is living in this material world, he will try to use this Veda for gaining his personal benefit. So that is called as Karma Kanda. The Karma Kanda portion of the Vedas, which is called, which is used for sense gratification. When he completed that, when the activities for sense gratification, namely the Karma Kanda chapter, are finished, then the chance for spiritual realization is offered in the form of Upanishads. So Upanishads is also called Vedanta. That means after using the Vedas for sense gratification, it not necessarily everyone has to do that, but generally the Vedas are meant, they are giving this knowledge, just like in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Traigunya Vishaya Veda Nistraigunyo Bhavarjuna. The Vedas are talking about different modes. In whatever mode one may be, he can use the Veda for gaining the purpose, whatever he wants. So these three guna, the Veda is also talking about three guna only. So when he completed that, frustrated, enough, I have enjoyed enough, but I am not getting complete satisfaction. Okay, let me understand what is the source of this world. How can I really become happy? So when he turns his face towards the Lord, then the Upanishads will begin. So that is the Upanishads. So the realization, spiritual realization, is offered in the form of Upanishads, and these Upanishads mark the beginning of transcendental life. So in the beginning means what? It is the Brahman realization. One will understand this material world, what is working. It is not because of my endeavor. There is Lord behind everything. So that is the beginning of realization, the spiritual realization, which is offered through the Upanishads. So in Upanishads, you don't find the Lord's name directly. It is speaking about different analysis. It will explain about the material world and how we are performing our activity in this material world. It will tell how we are getting entangled in this material world and what is the path for liberation. In that way, it will do so many ways of analysis. And you don't find the word Krishna. Even in this book of Srila Prabhupada, in the entire book, you don't find the word Krishna. He will not directly use the personal name, because Upanishads is like the office of Krishna. There everything is officially explained. You have to do sacrifice for the pleasure of the Lord. Why? Because you are being maintained by the Lord. So in this way, it will speak. It will not speak about sweet pastimes of the Lord. That is not available in the Upanishads. So that's how the Upanishads will begin the spiritual life. What is the meaning of Upanishad? Upa means near, just like Upavasa, to stay near the Lord. That is Upavasa. Similarly, Upa means near, Nishidati, that is bringing. The Upanishads will bring us near to the Lord. And another meaning is, Upa means near, Ni means certainly, Shad means loosen one's bondage to this material world and destroy the ignorance about the Swarupa of the living entity, our real eternal situation, and also to attain the liberation. That is Upanishad. This is the meaning of Upanishad. These Upanishads are like the crown jewel of the Vedas, the final conclusion of the Veda. If you find anything that is valuable in the entire Veda, it is the Upanishad. And this Ishopanishad, it is the last chapter of Shukla Yajurveda. There are two Yajurveda, Shukla and Krishna Yajurveda. So this comes in Shukla Yajurveda and contained within the Vajasaneya Samhita. As we have learned, the Veda has two subcategories. the Samhitas, Brahmana, Aranyaka, and Upanishad. So every Veda has, all the 4 Veda has these subcategories, and in the Yajurveda, Shukla Yajurveda, it is coming under Vajasaneya Samhita. So it is also called as Vajasaneya Samhitopanishad. That is another name. This Ishopanishad word name is coming because it starts with the name of Isha. Isha Vasyamidam Sarvam. It starts with like that. So it is called as Ishopanishad. Prominently, there are 11 Upanishads. Isha, Kena, Katha, Prashna, Mundaka, Mandukya, Taittiriya, Aitareya, Chandogya, Brihad Aranyaka, Shvetashvatara. These are the 11 prominent Upanishads which we can find. And if you want to know what are the 108 Upanishads, you can go to Adi Leela of Chaitanya Charitamrita, 7th chapter, 108 sloka purport. There one can find what are the different 100 Upanishads. So here you can find regarding the Upanishads, the following 11 Upanishads are considered the topmost. And then Prabhupada lists from 1 Ishopanishad, Kenopanishad, like that. He goes up to the 108 Upanishads. Muktikopanishad is the one in which all the 108 Upanishad name is given. So totally there are 108 Upanishads, in which 11 are the most important. So you can note down the shloka number so that you can go for further studies.
So kindly, Prabhuji, please repeat the shloka number.
Yeah, it is here, Mataji. Adi Leela, 7th chapter, 108 purport.
Prabhuji, one more thing. That Veda has that 4 parts you said. One of the parts it is Aranyaka. And what are the other 3? I did not hear it clearly.
Samhita, Brahmana,
Samhita, Brahmana,
Upanishad.
Samhita, Brahmana, Aranyaka, and
Upanishad.
Upanishad. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Now, what is Veda? Veda can be understood in a narrow understanding as well as in the broad understanding. So generally people understand Veda as it is 4 Veda. How many Vedas are there? If you ask the question, there are 4 Vedas. Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Atharvana Veda, Samaveda. But an average understanding is the literature which is derived from the Vedas are also Vedic. And the people who live according to the instructions of the Veda, they are also Vedic. They all are Vedic literatures or Vedic life, or everything that comes, either the Patanjali Yoga or the Ayurveda, Dhanurveda, all these things which are derived from Veda, they are also Vedic. This is an average understanding. The strictly speaking, there are only 4 Vedas. That is Veda. And a broad category, it is Vedic literature or Vedic life. There is Western life and Vedic life. So in that way, it's an average understanding of Veda. In an expansive way, it is the collection of all the knowledge. Whatever knowledge the sages they had, they have given or they have collected everything together and given in the form of Guru Shishya Parampara, and that is called Veda. So these are the 3 ways we can understand what is Veda. The Veda, the word with means to know. That is knowledge. And one who knows the Veda is called Vidwan. Vidwan or Vidushi. So that is the meaning of Veda, is the knowledge. So any part of the knowledge, it is Veda. Anything that you want to know, it is there in Veda. Veda, it's an oral reception from authoritative sources. And it is also called as Shruti. Shruti means hearing. It is received through hearing. Before Kali Yuga, the Veda was being spoken and heard. So that's why it is called Shruti. The spiritual master will speak the Veda and the disciple will listen it. And people were having so much of memory power that they could easily remember them. There was no need to writing down anything. It was only beginning of Kali Yuga, Vyasadeva decided to write them so that Veda will be available for Kali Yuga people. Because if we read so many times also, after few months or after few weeks, we will forget. So again, read it. So that is the need. And the Veda, whatever it is telling, it's an axiomatic truth. Axiomatic truth means it should be accepted as they are without interpretation. Without questioning, you just accept it. Just like cow dung is pure. There is no need to experiment. If you want to do, you can do that, but you don't have so much time. Whatever instructions given in Vedas, if you are going for doing experiment on each and everything, one lifetime is not enough, and we cannot experiment everything. So an intelligent person, he who accepts the knowledge from proper authority, and he will use it, or he will implement it, he will follow it. And it must be accepted through parampara. One cannot become a Vidwan just by himself. He has to surrender to the spiritual master. Without the blessings of spiritual master, one cannot understand Veda.
I just wanted to add a point, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
There are some things that we just need to accept straight away.
Yeah.
Without questioning, because the master talks, you don't have to experiment with it. Example is, if he's telling that this is poison, please don't touch it, then there should be no questions asked. It is just accepted and trust the source of that particular knowledge that we get. And that is also occurring in our lives, where only the master can tell you, please, these things avoid, these things touch, these things don't touch. Don't touch means don't touch. It may be poison, it may be, itching. These things are all taken from our masters, that we don't go for taking proof ourselves. It need not be. What do you call that knowledge? Which is accepted thing, and you need not experiment on it.
It's called axiomatic truth in the modern term.
Okay. Yeah. Got it.
In axiomatic means, in science also we have certain statements are given, it is directly accepted.
To be taken.
Yeah, it cannot be, or it may not be experimented.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. In the Vedas, every verse, it is called as mantra, and collection of mantras are called sukta, and collection of the sukta are called as samhitas. Okay, this is just for information. Mantra, collection of mantra is called sukta, and collection of sukta is called as samhita. Okay, continuing further, there is something called prasthanatraya. If we want to understand any topic in the in this Vedic literature, the Vedic understanding, there are three ways to understand. It's called prasthanatraya. Traya means three. It's called Shruti prasthana, Smriti prasthana, and Nyaya prasthana. Shruti prasthana means it is something what we hear directly from the Lord, or what directly comes from the Lord. It's called Shruti prasthana, and the example is Veda and Upanishad. In the parampara, the Lord himself directly given to the his next coming disciples, just like Lord Krishna gave to Brahma, Brahma gave to Narad, Narad gave to Vyasadeva, like that the knowledge has come down. And Shruti prasthana, Smriti prasthana means the realization of the great soul, the great sages, that is Purana and Mahabharata. These Purana and Mahabharata will explain what is there in Shruti. Shruti are like codes. Just like in the Indian Penal Code, this is the number, and this is, it should be like this. In the law, there are so many codes. So how it is exactly acting, that is explained in the Purana. Just like if you say the holy name can liberate a person. How it is exactly? You can take the example of Ajamila, which is explained in Purana and Mahabharata. There are many examples. So that is Smriti Prasthana. It is like the mother is telling some instructions to the child. That is Shruti Prasthana. And then the elder sister of the child, she will come and explain it with more details. That is called Smriti. The Vedas are like quotes. In Puranas, we get the story. Veda and Upanishad cannot be understood by common man. It requires a lot of intelligence and lot of analysis. But Purana, it is talking about our own life, our own examples, people like us. The Puranas and Itihasa. Purana and Itihasa, what is the difference? Purana, it speaks about, it is a conversation and it is a collection of many examples, many stories, which are happened not only in this earth, it has happened in different planets. Just like Narsimha Leela and the killing of Hiranyaksha. They are happening in some other planet, the Gajendra Moksha. It happens in some other planet, and we are taking that example. And Puranas, generally, it is like conversation between two people in which all these stories are involved. The Srimad Bhagavatam Mahapurana, we can take the example, the conversation between Parikshit Maharaj and Shukadeva Goswami. It begins with the questioning of 6 questions by the sages, and then the sages, the Suta Goswami explains the sages about all these 6 questions he will answer, and final question, 6th question, he will say that the Dharma has taken shelter under this Bhagavatam. Then they will ask, what is Bhagavatam? Who told this? When it happened? All these questions will come. Then it continues up to 12th canto, continuously. That is Purana. And Mahabharata. Mahabharata is Itihasa, Mahabharata and Ramayana. This is even more related to our life, because it happened within this planet or within this earth itself. And we have the pastimes of the Lord here. So this is even more closer. And it is even more closer to our life. The examples are very, very close. So we can very easily understand what is explained in Purana and Mahabharata. And Nyaya Prasthana, this is the, again, it's a code in which Vyasadeva has given the Vedanta Sutra. The word Sutra means formula. These codes has to be explained. One of the example for code is Atato Brahma Jijnasa. So Vedanta Sutra will say only that much. Atato Brahma Jijnasa. What do you understand from that? We don't understand anything. Then Acharyas will come and write the commentary. We have our Acharya Baladev Vidyabhushana, who has written commentary on Vedanta Sutra, which is called as Govinda Bhashya. Similarly, any Acharya coming in the Parampara, he will have one Bhashya. Ramanujacharya has written Bhashya. Madhvacharya has written Bhashya. Every Parampara which is authorized, they have a Bhashya for this Vedanta Sutra. Writing Bhashya for Vedanta Sutra makes a Parampara authoritative. It is just like you want to present some thesis or some theory you want to present to the public to the scientific world. Then whatever explanation you are giving, it should match with the formula which is already there in the mathematics or physics. It should not go against it. So what philosophy you are presenting to the public, it should not go against Vedanta Sutra. That's why Vyasadeva has given this Vedanta Sutra. It's a formula. So what knowledge we are accepting, it should be having these 3 parts: Shruti Prasthana, Smriti Prasthana, and Nyaya Prasthana. But in general, those people who have studied Vedas, they will accept Shruti Prasthana more authoritative than Smriti Prasthana. Why? Because they give the argument that Shruti is more authorized, because it is directly coming from the Lord. And Smriti means it is something which is given by the realization of the sages. So it is of lesser value. This is the, if you see, other than the devotees who are the scholars of Vedas, they will give this argument. You must present everything from Shruti only. We don't accept the Smriti. If you want to argue with a Mayavadi, you have to give all the references from Shruti only. If you say in Bhagavatam it is told like this, or in Mahabharata it is so, they are not going to accept your references. So you should be very thorough in the Shruti if you want to present something to the public who are the scholars of Vedas. They will accept Shruti and Nyaya, but not the Smriti. But the beauty of Smriti is, it is more closer to us. It is like our own near and dear one. It is making the things more easy to understand. And a common man also can understand what is the conclusion of Vedas. Even though those people, the people who have come to the Upanishads after being frustrated with Karmakanda, they will not understand achieving the Lord is so easy. The self-realization, how can it be so easy? Just like in Ayurveda, there are very easy methods. Means you just change your lifestyle. You drink this hot water every day, your disease will be cured. You will not get headache, no fever, no cold. You will be all right. If you say this much, the patient will not accept. No, doctor, I have very big problem. My headache is very big. So you have to give me big medicine. Because you think that your disease is big, you are expecting some big medicine. So those who are scholars of Veda, for them, if you say, Harer Namaiva Kevalam, they will not accept. How is that possible? Just by chanting the holy name, how can you go back to Godhead? Is it so easy? We are here since 84 million lakh species of life. You are telling within this one lifetime, we'll go back? How can it possible? And for them, we have this Upanishads. Okay, you start analyzing. And Upanishads, they will take them under different analysis. Then slowly they will come to the, if they are fortunate, if they come in touch with the devotees, they will come to the conclusions of Vedaishta Sarve Rahameva Vedyaha. Finally, from all the Vedas, Krishna is to be known. And Smriti is directly giving it. Because it is making the things easy to understand for common man. So Vedic knowledge is very vast. We have Shruti and Smriti, two parts. And what is there in Shruti? Shruti has Vedas, the Rig, Yajur, Sama and Atharvana Veda. And these Vedas have four parts: Samhita, Brahmana, Aranyaka and Upanishads. Samhitas are the mantras. Generally, Samhitas will be studied in the Brahmacharya time. And Brahmanas are for Grahasthas, rituals which are performed. Aranyakas are used during the Vanaprastha, esoteric explanation of mantras. And Upanishads are studied in the Sannyasa. Jnanakanda, philosophy of Brahman, how to achieve Brahman. They will only reach the Brahman state here. They will not come to Bhagavan state, Bhagavan realization. So this is a general way of understanding, but we are given something beyond this Upanishads. Directly, Prabhupada has given us Srimad Bhagavatam Mahapurana, which will give the Panchama Purushartha, that is Krishna Prema. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, it is a result of studying Veda. But we get Krishna Prema directly. And Upavedas are there, that is Dhanur Veda, how to fight in the war, Ayurveda, how to get cured from the diseases, that is Upaveda. And there are Vedangas, Kalpa, Shiksha, Vyakarana, Nirukta, Chanda, Jyotisha, astronomy, meters. This is Chandas. While singing, those who study singing, they will know. Nirukta, etymology. Etymology means understanding the meaning of a mantra by its root word. And grammar, which is very much needed for learning. Everyone will learn Vyakaran in the beginning of studies. Then pronunciation. Proper pronunciation is very important. Just like in Bhagavatam, there is a birth of Vritrasura. Actually, Vritrasura's father Twashta wanted Vritrasura to kill Indra, but his pronunciation was not proper. So Vritrasura got killed by Indra. He told, I want a son who can kill Indra. But the meaning of his pronunciation was, I want a son who gets killed by Indra. So he got killed by Indra. So that is a pronunciation mistake. So one should learn this. In Vedas, pronunciation is very important because it is not personal service which you are doing. You are doing everything officially. In chanting Hare Krishna, instead, when Chinese chant Hare Krishna, they say Hare Krishna because they don't say Ra properly. But Krishna will take it. Because we are Bhavagrahi Janardana. Krishna will not take any offense. He will see what is your motive. But in Vedas, it is not so. When you are doing Yajna, your pronunciation should be perfect. Otherwise, these devatas will get confused. Then Kalpa, the rituals which are performed. Anyhow, we are not getting into these things. I'm just giving some gist of it. I'm also not good at that. Then coming to Smriti. Smriti also has many parts. The ritual sutras, tantra, Pancharatra. Pancharatra, we use the Narada Pancharatra, which explains how to worship the Lord, Vaishnava worship. Beginning from early morning worship, waking up the Lord and Mangalarti, and up to the Shayanarti. What are the different worship methods? And Puranas, there are 18 major Puranas, and there are Upa Puranas again. Then Itihasa, Ramayana, Mahabharata, and Shad Darshana. This is 6 darshanas. They are Vedanta, Mimamsa, Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Yoga, and Sankhya. These are different Shad Darshana. This Shad Darshana itself is a big topic of explanation. And Vedanta is the one which gives the spiritual understanding. Other things are, they have many material things included, just like Patanjali Yoga, Yoga Sadhana, it is a yoga part. And Sankhya also has the atheist Kapila Sankhya or metaphysics understanding. Vaisheshika, given by Kannada, it is a metaphysics, philosophy of existence. It's like atomic knowledge. Kana means atom. The knowledge related to that. It's the name is Kannada. And Gautama has given Nyaya Shastra and Mimamsa by Jaimini. And Vyasadeva has given Vedanta knowledge, theology of Upanishads. So this is the vast knowledge of Vedic understanding. And most of the literatures are lost. Everything is not available now. And here we have ritual sutras, Shauta, Grihya, Dharma Sutra, and Dharma Shastra, all these things. Do we need to study all these things to finish our Bhakti Shastri? No. And just by studying 4 books, by doing Bhakti Shastri, will our understanding will be incomplete? No. Prabhupada says 4 books are enough. It is Shruti, Smriti, Purana, Pancharatra. It is all included in 4 books. What are they? The Prasthanatraya in Vedanta. We have Shruti, that is Vedas, which includes Samhita, Aranyaka, Upanishad, etc. Smriti, Purana, Itihasa, Pancharatra. Nyaya, that is Vedanta Sutra. How it is covered in Prabhupada's books? For Bhakti Shastri, we have Bhagavad Gita, Ishopanishad, Nectar of Devotion, and Nectar of Instruction. Now here, the Bhagavad Gita, it is a... Okay, this one more I think I forgot. Bhagavad Gita is a part of Mahabharata. And Mahabharata is a part of Smriti. And the definition of Shruti is that thing which is directly spoken by Krishna. And Bhagavad Gita is the one which is directly spoken by Krishna. So Bhagavad Gita is a Shruti within the Smriti. So it can be a Shruti as well as it is a Smriti also. But general people, since it is Bhagavad Gita given as a part of Mahabharata, they will accept it as a Smriti only. So where is Shruti now in our studies? It is this Upanishad, Ishopanishad. And do we have Smriti? Yes, it is Bhagavad Gita. And Nyaya, it is the Bhagavatam. So Bhagavad Gita, Ishopanishad, nectar of devotion, nectar of instruction for Bhakti Shastris. And it is our lifetime achievement if we read this Chaitanya Charitamrita and Srimad Bhagavatam at least once with the purport of Srila Prabhupada. Before death, one must finish this. There are many devotees who have finished reading these books 5 times, 10 times. Some people 50 times they have read, dedicated people. For them, it is like many people have kantastha, many slokas of Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita. When they speak, it is like the nectar flowing from their mouth. But at least for us, read these 2 books, Srimad Bhagavatam with the 12 cantos, Chaitanya Charitamrita with the 3 Leelas, the Adi Madhya Antya, at least once in the lifetime. If you read once, then the second time it will make you to read again, no problem. So reading first time is the difficult step with the purport completely. If you are not able to read the shloka, don't worry. Read it whatever possible. The pronunciation does not matter because Prabhupada has given word by word meaning. So you can read it and understand the translation and purport. It will give you complete knowledge. Whatever knowledge that is needed for our life, for perfecting our spiritual life, it is there in Prabhupada's books. As Prabhupada himself told, I have given everything in my book. If you find that something is lacking, you just read it once again. You are not read it properly. You read it properly, then you will understand. So these 4 books are enough. So these 4 books are for Bhakti Shastri, and these 4 books for lifetime. Everything is covered. So Bhagavad Gita is Vedic. It's a part of Veda. And Srimad Bhagavatam is a Vaishnava book. And Chaitanya Charitamrita and Nectar of Devotion, it's a Gaudiya Vaishnava book. It is not a part of the overall knowledge of Vedanta or Vedas. The scholars of Vedas, for them, it's not a part of their study, but this is a contribution of Goswamis and the devotees coming under Gaudiya Vaishnava Siddhanta. Yes, Muralidhar Prabhu?
Yeah, Prabhuji, Smriti also means from memory, isn't it?
Yes, Smriti means memory.
That is why many of our scriptures have been handed out by Shruti and Smriti down the ages.
Yes, Shruti means hearing, Smriti
Yes.
means remembering. The Smriti here, remembrance in the sense, it is a realization. Whatever
Collection of realizations. Yeah.
Yes. Just
That
like
is
if
why
you, yeah.
Sorry, that is why we have saved a lot of our literature by people who by-hearted it and hid in various gurukulas and handed it down generations.
Yes.
And that has not been written by anybody. It's not written as yet in a structural way. This Bhagavatam for us is definitely a divine. You know, my mother has read for 2 times a year, and I never knew what was she doing. I really didn't know what was she doing. And she would say, now this time I finished one, take a photograph. I have taken a photograph of her finishing once. Then she says, now I'll finish twice, second part of the year. August, there is a month, no? In Kerala, we keep reading all these scriptures.
Yeah.
She used to complete in that time 1 round.
Bhadra Purnima, there is a day celebrated for distributing Srimad Bhagavatam. Yes. This like example can be given. Chant early in the morning. In the Brahma Murta, one has to chant. This is the instruction. This is like if you take, say, for example, it's a Shruti mantra. One must chant in the Brahma Murta. Now, what the Smriti will do, how you have to chant? What are the practical way to get up early in the morning? And how one should sit and chant properly? What are the distractions? These all explanations, details will be there. So that is, these things will be done by the Smriti. Those who have already done it, they will give their realization. So it will help us to advance. If you take only with the Shruti, then it is very difficult. We say that Vedas are so difficult, I can't read it. But if you take the help from the devotees, then it is possible.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, on the last slide, as you mentioned that these are Gaudiya Vaishnava books too.
Yeah.
Like when I visited Vrindavan, there is a very famous Prem Mandir. And the cult over there which they follow is of, I think, Sri Jagadguru Kripaluji Maharaj is the guru there. And in that particular setup also, they read and study this Chaitanya Charitamrita and NOD also. So, but I don't think they are Gaudiya Vaishnavas.
Yeah, but the author of these two books are Gaudiya Vaishnavas.
Okay.
Rupa Goswami and Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami.
Okay, that's why it is specifically for Gaudiya Vaishnavas.
Yeah, anybody can read. See, there Gaudiya Vaishnava, it is like
They
it's open
preach
for
this
all.
to their own disciples and all, whosoever is the community who they have developed there. They teach them this also, and they give lectures on this also.
Yeah, maybe Mataji. I don't know exactly about their following, but maybe they have accepted it.
Okay, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Dandavat. Sorry, Prabhuji, can I ask one question?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, you have explained this also actually, this Shruti and Smriti. Prabhuji, in the previous slides, no, just two or three slides back, when we were talking about the Shruti, Smriti, and the other Prasthana.
Nyaya.
Yes, Nyaya. So, Prabhuji, when you mentioned that Shruti Prasthana, Vedas and Upanishads are there, and we know that our Bhagavad Gita is the song of God. It is Shruti.
It is Smriti.
Yes, correct. It is Smriti because it is coming under Mahabharata now.
Yes.
But Prabhuji, why these people, I mean, why the scholars of Vedas, when they are so much rigid in following the instructions of God, whatever is coming directly from the Lord, why don't they agree to Bhagavad Gita? I mean, it is directly coming from Sri Krishna, no? So why do they consider it to be a part of Mahabharata when it is being directly spoken by Krishna?
They are afraid. They are not ready to accept the fact. Because they have come across this Karmakanda portion, it is not possible for them to accept it. Because Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is directly speaking, Matta parataram na anyat kinchidasti dhananjaya. There is nothing greater than me. How can they accept it? It's very difficult for them. So they don't touch it. Mahabharata, except especially one who is not a Vaishnava, he cannot touch this Srimad Bhagavatam.
Correct, yes.
The statements that are given, it is like slap on the face. So they are afraid, they don't give any commentary on that. They just only say that it is of lower understanding. Means it is not for us. They just say like that and they leave it. But if you see Srimad Bhagavatam, the 8th canto, text number, first chapter, text number 1, text number 10, there is a shloka. This mantra is spoken by the Swayambhuva Manu, where Swayambhuva Manu accepts his grandson as his son. That is, if you see Srimad Bhagavatam, the son of Swayambhuva Manu, the daughter of Swayambhuva Manu, Akuti, her son was Yajna, and Yajna was adopted back again by Swayambhuva Manu, and Swayambhuva Manu was doing tapasya, and he was when he was praying, some demons came to attack him. At that time, Yajna will come and protect him. So this time he will do this prayer. It is also using the same way. Atma vasyam idam vishwam yatkimcha jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bhunjita magrada kasya siddhanam. 8.1.10.
Okay.
8.1.10. So Srimad Bhagavatam includes the conclusion of Upanishads. The exact shloka of Upanishad, that is Ishopanishad, first shloka, is there in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So what is there in Upanishads is there in Puranas. But what is there in Purana, it is not there in the Upanishads. In the sense, the realizations.
Okay, Prabhuji. Yes. I understand.
Yes.
Thank you.
The Puranas like the notes of the teacher. We have certain teachers in our college. I like that teacher very much. Why? Because that teacher will give you very good notes. If you read that notes, you will pass in the exam. So all conclusions are there in the notes. So this Puranas and Mahabharata Itihasa, they are the notes from the perfect teacher. These teachers are teaching us because out of compassion. They understand that these fallen conditions, how they can read this Vedas, how they will understand. They are fully into material world and They are only struggling to manage themselves, how to fill the belly and how to maintain some relation with the people who are around us, fighting every day. We are completely lost in that. And where is the time for realizing the conclusion of Veda? So they give easily. All the Vaishnava Acharyas, they sing the song, as Mataji has sung the song. They'll give very simple way of understanding what is Veda. So anybody, you, whatever state you may be, or in whatever work you may be doing, you can continue to practice spirituality. The life itself becomes spiritual. The everyday activity will become spiritual. So sadhya, yes, Mataji.
Sorry, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Prashanta Triya, where does it fall into this Vedic chart?
It is here. It is, the Nyaya is given separately. Here you can see Shruti is here, Smriti is here, and Nyaya is here. Nyaya, actually, it can be used as a subservient to Smriti also.
But you just had explained this Prashanta Triya, 3 parts.
Pardon, Mataji?
You talked about this Prashanta Triya.
Prasthana Traya.
Prasthana Triya. Sorry,
Yes.
Prasthana Triya.
These 3 things are used to understand the Vedic knowledge. If you want to see, if you want to present something which you have composed to be authenticative, then your philosophy or a presentation should be accepted by Shruti, Smriti, and Nyaya.
Okay.
That's how it is taken.
Okay. I now understood it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nyaya is a part of the Shaddarshana, and also it is serving the Smriti again. Okay. So sadhya is Krishna, sadhana is Bhakti. That is, the goal is Krishna, and the path is devotional service to Krishna, established through the Bhagavad Gita and Ishopanishad. And sadhya and sadhana explained in the nectar of devotion and nectar of instruction. So establishment, that is, Bhagavad Gita will tell what is Krishna, who is Krishna. And Ishopanishad also says who is the absolute truth, what is his nature. And this nectar of devotion and nectar of instruction, they are more focusing about the explanation through which we can achieve that. It doesn't mean that Bhagavad Gita doesn't have this, but it also explains about sadhya more. But these 2 books are more dedicated. Nectar of devotion is telling us how to practice bhakti, and nectar of instruction will tell us how to practice bhakti, or how a personal behavior must be, how a devotee should be. All these things are explained. So this is the principle and this is the details. It is explained here. So these are the 4 books. Now let us hear from Srila Prabhupada. Sureshwar Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prasthana Traya. Therefore, the Vedanta Sutra is known as Nyaya Prasthana. The Upanishads are known as Shruti Prasthana, and Gita, Mahabharata, and Puranas are known as Smriti Prasthana. Adi Leela 7.106 per part. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Sarita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prasthana Traya. The Mayavadi philosophers accept only the Nyaya Prasthana and Shruti Prasthana, rejecting the Smriti Prasthana. Adilila 7.117 per part. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Radha Vallavi Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Prasthana Triya. Whenever there is argument on some point, one has to give reference from these Upanishads. If one can give reference from the Upanishads, then this argument is very strong. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Jai. Thank you, Mataji. Deepti Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. This Krishna consciousness movement is completely authorized from Vedic principles. Shri Ishopanishad. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you, Prabhupada.
Thank you. So in this way, Srila Prabhupada has given the Shruti Prasthana, Smriti Prasthana. But where is Nyaya Prasthana? Shruti Prasthana, Prabhupada has given Ishopanishad. Smriti Prasthana, we have Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And what is Nyaya Prasthana?
Srimad Bhagavatam.
Bhagavatam. Srimad
Yes.
Bhagavatam.
Wonderful. Correct. Srimad Bhagavatam, as I told earlier, every Acharya should write a commentary on Srimad, on the Vedanta Sutra, that is Nyaya Prasthana. And even though we have Baldev Vidyabhushan who has given Govinda Bhashya for our Parampara, and also this Srimad Bhagavatam is a natural commentary on the Srimad, this Vedanta Sutra. The person who has written the Sutra, he himself explained the Sutra in Srimad Bhagavatam. So our knowledge is complete. We have all the three. We have Shruti Prasthana, we have Smriti Prasthana, and we have the three. Nyaya Prasthana. So let us review what we studied. Vedic literatures and Upanishads, all these things we have studied. Why Prabhupada has published this Sri Upanishad, Ishopanishad? It is the Shruti Prasthana to make, to understand authenticatively. And three types of evidence, pramanas, we have seen, and what are the four defects of conditioned souls and reason for accepting Vedic authority. Why we should accept Vedic? Because we are having some four defects. And Shabda Pramana in relation to ISKCON gurus, that the structure of ISKCON we have seen, how the knowledge is being given. Shri Hari Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandvat Pranam. We finally request those who are actually after Vedic knowledge to try to understand the explanation of all Vedic knowledge from Srimad Bhagavatam and the Bhagavad Gita. Sri Ishopanishad Introduction. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai. Thank you, Mataji. So when we do this Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhava, so many degrees, we also think that, oh, let me read Vedas, or let me start reading some Aranyaka, Samhita, all these things. I have read so much from Prabhupada. So we should understand Prabhupada has given complete knowledge here itself. There is no need to search anywhere else. And there is also a danger, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told. You should not read too many books. And getting the knowledge through the authority is very important. Most of us don't know what is Sanskrit. We don't know how to interpret Sanskrit language. And if we are going for reading any other Upanishads or any other book, we will be generally going through the English version or the Kannada version or whatever Hindi version of it. And do you know who has translated it from Sanskrit to English or in Hindi? We don't know. And what is the qualification of that person? Is he coming in Parampara? No. Avaishnava Mukhotgirna Putam Harikatamrutam Shravanam Naiva Kartavyam Sarpochishta Payoyatha. It will give poisonous effect. Even though Harinama is milk, it is Amrita. But if it is touched by the tongue of a snake, then it will have poisonous effect. How it will be poisonous effect? See, if you read such kind of literature which is translated by non-devotees, somewhere they will tell, I actually don't think Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. After reading all those things, if you hear such kind of statements, then it will pinch your heart and it will reduce your devotion to Krishna. Either it will reduce your respect to that person who is writing that book, or it will reduce your respect to Krishna. So don't get into such problems. Read only Prabhupada's books, the books which are coming in Parampara. And this is also an instruction in IDC, ISKCON Disciple Course. Don't read books even from other Sampradaya unless you have any proper reason for getting that. One should not read unnecessary books. Read books Prabhupada given. He has given for lifetime. One cannot finish these books in one lifetime. So better finish all these things. Prabhupada told one must read all my books at least half a dozen times. That means 6 times you have to read Prabhupada's books. Then maybe if you are still alive, you can read other books. So better don't get into trouble. Read Prabhupada books and go back to Godhead. Our aim is not to become a scholar. Our aim is to become a devotee of Lord, devotee of Srila Prabhupada. follow Prabhupada and go back to Godhead. One should not get lost in the studies. I thank all the devotees for coming for today's class and activity participating. If you have any questions, you can raise your hand and ask your questions. Thank you very much. Rakshita Mataji.
My question is, we are while chanting, we chant either in Ratsik mode or Tamasic mode. So how do we come out of it? Like while chanting, we keep making so many lists. Okay, I should do that. I should do this. All these things. So how do we come out of all that?
Yeah, we should have sincere effort for making our chanting proper. There are 3 stages in chanting: Namaparada, Namabhasa, and Shuddha Nama. The Namabhasa state will come when a person is putting sincere effort to make his chanting proper. One should not knowingly do any mistake. Just like with chanting, suddenly thought comes, okay, let me see what is there in my mobile. Is there any new message has come? The thought came, it's okay, but you don't do it. The thought is not in your control, but the action is in your control. You can tell your mind, shut up, now I don't have time, later I will do that. There is no emergency. Then that is okay. You cannot make that thought itself should not come to my mind. That is not possible. But the action should be stopped there itself. And chant in the early morning time, it will give sattvic environment, and our chanting will be pure. And whenever the mind roams around, one should bring it back. This is the problem everyone has while chanting. The mind, nature of mind is to roam around. You should consciously bring it down and remove all the distractions as much as possible. Don't keep the distractions. Just like when you're sitting for chanting, you should chant in a place where there is no much movement of the people. If you are sitting in between the crowd, where people are moving around, they are chatting or they are speaking loudly. If you are sitting that place, then definitely you get distracted. So find a place where there is calm and you can sit quiet and concentrate on the holy name. Hearing is more important than thinking. The mind will roam. Don't try to remember any pastime of the Lord. If it comes on its own, it's fine. But there is no need to remember the pastime of the Lord also. Just hear the name. Hare Krishna. The word Hare should be heard and Krishna should be heard. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The people who speak about the Japa seminars, they say, if you are able to hear one mantra properly, you are the most fortunate person. If you are able to hear one mantra properly throughout your 16 rounds, this is Hare Krishna mantra once. You are the most fortunate. Understand this. And there is no much anything more to be understood. This is how one should chant. It takes a lot of time. Today my chanting may be proper, but tomorrow it may not be. So you should not think, okay, I have achieved something now. Now my chanting has become pure. Now it will not go down anymore. No, it is not so. Again, Maya will bring so many tricks, but still we should continue. The sincere effort will give us success.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Any other questions? Okay. If there are no more questions, I request all the devotees to read all the 18 shlokas. You don't have to buy heart. You can read it once. In the next class onwards, we'll start that. In the beginning, we'll read the complete 18 verses of Ishopanishad, so that we will learn how to pronounce it properly. You don't have to remember all the shlokas. I think the first 2 shlokas are there in the memorization list. Other things are not there. So at least let us see if we should, when we see that I have done Bhakti Shastri, at least I should know how to read Ishopanishad shloka. So that much we will achieve. So I request all the devotees to practice to read Ishopanishad shlokas while coming to the next class. You can read while seeing only. Okay. Thank you. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Anant Koti Vaishnav Vrind ki jai. Namacharya Shila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Only
Hare
16
Krishna.
a mark,
Thank you,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Attendance
Thank
only
you,
16 a
Prabhuji.
mark.
Thank you.
Yeah.